The video that I'll be sharing with you guys today, it's some footage from San Francisco yesterday. The crowd was, in my opinion, a little violent, a little unruly. Non-violent, peaceful protest doesn't look like any of this stuff that we're looking at on this screen. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm tired of it. I am. I paid my taxes because they asked me to. I don't break the law. I do everything they ask me to do. I stay in my house. I mind my own business. But when our rights as citizens are being stomped all over, and the illegal immigrant is being put above us, the average citizen, and I'm going to tell you something. It probably wouldn't even be that bad if I was an average citizen. If black people were looked at as average citizens, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it. But because we're looked at the way we are and we're classified and categorized the way we are in this country and held in a place, I got a problem with it, because they have absolutely no problem getting behind this movement that is about to be one of the most successful and tear-jerking movements that you'll probably ever see, because it's going to be successful. There's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. It's not going to be muffled. No leaders will die. In fact, do you see anybody standing out there singling themselves out as a Latino illegal immigrant leader? You don't. There are Congress folk and mayors and governors, people within the government who are speaking on their behalf. Karen Bassis of the country, speaking on their behalf, speaking in defense of them, speaking for them. Did you guys ever see during the civil rights era, during that era, did you ever see a mayor push Martin Luther King out the way and say, this is bullshit? You're going to treat these people. Then they wouldn't, and they didn't. And they probably would have ended up dead like him. It is a slap in the face for us to have been stifled, because you never have enough money. You never have enough. You never have enough. You never care enough. You never a whole lot enough. But the one thing that we would be fools if we just play like you didn't say it, but you said it. You told us you lack resources to do anything for us. You told us we did this and we did that, and one of our presidents even said some shit about no, it was one of them senators, about Barack Obama being the black president, that was some form of reparations. You allow us to elect these mayors and these governors and one president who resembled us. And the sad part about it is, when you lie to us and then to come around to the truth, the reason you continue to do it is because we don't call you out. We need to call them out. Like this kind of stuff. This isn't nonviolent. This isn't peaceful. This isn't a walk in the park. Some windows on that federal building was cracked and broken. The policemen, in my opinion, especially with all those people milling around with backpacks on, are in jeopardy. Now, I don't know if they train the federal police different than they train the local police, or because this is such a high profile movement going on, they don't want to make the mistakes that the National Guard and the federal police and all those folks made back in the 60s and the 50s, turning fire hoses on the African Americans who were non-violently, peacefully protesting and demonstrating. I have a problem with that, though. Violence immediately. Peaceful protests were truly met with violence. We didn't walk down the street. Did you ever see Martin Luther King, Ralph Abernathy, and those guys following the police down the street, antagonizing them, cursing them out? I'm personally not with the nonviolent, being out there like a duck, especially in this violent country, is just not the best thing to do. To try to be out there voicing an opinion as strong as the opinion that we would voice. It is an issue with black people demonstrating. It's an issue with black people trying to better themselves. We can demonstrate all day long and nobody will ever get mad, long as we ain't demonstrating for ourselves. When we start demonstrating for ourselves, people got a problem with that. If we were out there in force, a whole significant amount of black people lending our time and our effort to this movement, nobody would have a problem. The police wouldn't shoot us when we go out there. They'd really understand that this is just for the good of the illegal immigrants. When you got the LAPD and the San Francisco local police working with illegal immigrants against federal agents can't even inform the mayor of a city what their next move is going to be. Because that mayor will turn and tell the tip-off folks, and they'll be typing on it. And now they typing in codes. It's not out in the open no more. I feel if they make apps and people get on those apps, that's acceptable, because someone sought that. They want to participate. Somebody's out there. I ain't got nothing against nobody who want to go. I just want you to know that the United States has a higher tolerance for this stuff than I ever thought. My whole life growing up in this country and in the state of California, they never had that kind of tolerance for us when it came to demonstrating. And the thing that we would be fighting and asking and pushing for is just equality. It's just to work on closing the racial wealth gap. The things that may never come to pass completely, but to work on them. Not to just push them to the back and leave them alone. And not to ignore us when we say, hey, what's going on? We need it. You respond with, we ain't got no money. Where's the money going to come from? Who's going to pay for this? Well, after you get away from the economic argument, then it comes down to, well, most of the people, all of the people here weren't alive during slavery. They didn't own slaves. You know what I mean? We understand that there's a lot of talking points that don't make sense. The biggest thing that makes our fight such an uphill battle is that all this is being exposed. If Trump had not won this presidency, we wouldn't see this. He might be the worst president we ever had, but he might not be the worst president for black people. For a group of people who didn't support him, very many votes, and we're about to benefit from him just showing a sharp contrast between anything and the Democrats. And you can almost lump the Republicans in there, except those Republicans who he got operating underneath his administration, and those senators who are pushing this shit through, and those Supreme Court justices. Trump got their attention. I really do believe that the president of the United States has more power than we all know. And I really believe that Trump found out, and he's pissing them off, because all these presidents have made agreements and shook hands and went by traditions. I mean, you might be pissed off at the president you're about to replace. It doesn't mean that the country's any weaker. It just means that he got to go. And when it's time for him to step down, you don't have to meet with him if you don't want to. Oh, but it's such a peaceful transition of power and all that. It's all for show. The way they are talking about Donald Trump, the way Donald Trump talks about them, why have a peaceful transfer of power and bullshit yourself into a handshake and a cup of tea? Just call me when he's gone, and then I'll come move my shit in. But I don't need to sit there and talk to somebody that I can't stand. And who I really, because they can stand each other, because they make gentlemen's agreements and they push a little here and push a little there. And when you learn how it works, behind the curtain, you get kind of depressed, like shit. You really thought they were battling, and they're not. But they're showing themselves now They're showing themselves to their constituents who never, ever, ever seen mayors in the United States, not during the civil rights era, not during that era, post-civil rights, the 70s, when black mayors started popping up around the country. Tom Bradley, Al Washington. Remember the black mayors popping up over the country? And in the 80s, more of them. And in the 90s, even more. Then governors. You know what I'm saying? And these people are black and out of their damn mouth can call a city a sanctuary city and expect we ain't going to get tired of seeing this shit. Seeing these people pushing the line, pushing the envelope, risking being killed out there. But they're not. They're not being killed. The police are treating them very gently. They should have gave all the cops white gloves because they're just like, you know, gentle as hell. Every once in a while, one will get pissed, spray somebody, or they'll push somebody down. Or, you know, you start beating on a windshield and piling on the hood of a police car. I wouldn't recommend it. You know, the cop who ran that girl or that guy over, you'll see that part coming up, I think. It hasn't passed yet. When you see that shit and somebody gets run over by a police car that they were hanging off, that's on them. What you supposed to do? This is not what's supposed to be happening in our country. This is not what our neighborhoods and communities and the areas that we have to frequent should look like. What if you had business near that establishment, that federal business that they decide to crack the windows and stand in front of and threaten police? So what do you think a regular citizen is going to feel like? Very threatened. And what if you're a citizen who don't feel like they do? Would you want them to know that while you're walking by and they're peacefully marching, peacefully pick, but it's peaceful. So you should be able to, you know, not go over there and disrespect nobody, but be identified as a person who don't agree with illegal immigrants coming in the country and sucking up our resources. When they cry broke, when we ask for them as citizens. It's just fair. Fair is fair. And to look at this bunch of cops, like the cops in the Capitol on January 6th, Capitol thing, running, backing away, disengaging. Have we ever seen that? The only time the police gonna back out if it's black people is if they are completely outnumbered and it's about to go down. But if they just doing this kind of stuff, that crowd are gonna turn around. Them police are not. I have never seen, and you guys, some of you have seen news cuts and news clips and news videos that I haven't seen. And I would really appreciate it if someone could share with me and let me know the time when black people in the United States were allotted that ability to protest for your life, to improve it, to make it better, to fight with everything you got, so much so that you know you can't scratch a fingernail, break. You can't do nothing but go out there and just be out there. And they still find a way to make physical contact between the police and the black protesters. And the only way they're going to make, look at that broken glass. The only way they're going to make contact with these people is if they don't move and those people catch up, because those people were pushing and pulling. And I'm like, wow, there's no way. I'm tired of it. As a citizen of the United States, I'm tired of it. I'm going to say it. Fuck that shit. We need our senators, our mayors, our president, all of them to be working for us. I think Karen Bass is under the impression that this shit's going to go on for another 30 days. She need to read the big, beautiful bill. It's going on more than 30 days from now. I don't know where she got that number from, but a lot of the people in this country are planning on taking this fight to the dirt, which in reality, if they do, and providing that Trump doesn't really bear down and get the Supreme Court and his Congress involved, because the fight's going to go down, and it's going to go down soon enough to happen with what we have to work with right now. It'll be after those midterms. I believe that the Republicans are going to lose some ground, but if I was the president of the United States, to have a supermajority and actually use it, I wouldn't mind losing the midterm coming up, because he has fulfilled his agenda. He has done everything that he planned to do. Now, we ain't got the result of what he said was going to happen, and it ain't all flourished and everything yet, but according to what was on his agenda, I'm sure he got some other little items and pardons and some things coming up. But I mean, he hit this shit out the park. He got Congress to work with him. And it's put the country in a place that just draws a line of contrast. And you can see the things that are so much different than you thought, and things that, most people think, who don't know a whole lot about history, that we had our moment in the sun like that. Well, you guys had the civil rights fight, but we lost. It was a what they say, it was a little TKO. You know what I mean? We ended up being cool with them and all, but we lost that shit. And they're not going to lose. The illegal immigrants are not going to continue to be illegal immigrants. And if they are, they're going to be accepted into the country as illegal immigrants, but there's still going to be people who snuck into the country, and the country just backed down and said, all right. Because we can't continue at this pace. We can't keep approving $160 million for $160 million for every $160 billion for every 4 years. A president had to do that every 4 years. Oh, I got to need $160 billion to get no bullshit. You let them in, and then you pay to get them out, and then it's just like, really, who are we working for? Who are we trying to help? Because I don't get the feeling that our politicians have us at the high enough priority on their list of shit to do. And they need to get it that way. It's only right to believe that these people are roaming around violently in the street with the police present, and the sanctuary cities, San Francisco is one of them, is quick to tell us, we got this. Everything's under control. Now, I know we all might have untrained eyes and not be used to police work, especially when they're in the middle of the battle. But did you guys see that those police had that in control? Did that look under control to you? I mean, hopefully it'll just stay at this level, just a little pushing and shoving here and there. I don't know why they risked their lives getting on that moving car. That's something that I would have never done. But something else I would have never done is went out in that and tried to support illegal immigrants who are coming in this country and in an adversarial position based on the way this country is run. And this country has a limited amount of resources. And when you have to compete with people for those resources, it's hard to feel real chummy or be out protesting and picketing to get more of them in. And the picket or the protest that you're participating in is real chill. No blood all over the streets. Throw a brick or a rock at the police car and they don't even return fire. They like ducking and this is very, very different. We have black men killed in this country on national TV, where you see every part of it, and this country still has enough disdain for us to not be completely understanding as to why we would be frustrated, upset, mad, and have the taste in our mouth that we've been cheated. Especially when they are pouring it on so thick here. It just pissing me off, be honest. I'm tired of it. I'm done. I don't know about let me know in the comments, you guys. I mean, is it just me? Am I being an asshole? Am I racist? No, I'm not. And I don't feel like anybody has to explain about being racist or not racist. When white people do things and you go, oh, he just racist. It might be. He has that right. She has that right. They have that right. Everybody has that right. The way this country is run, I'm shocked that it's not more of it. I hope in my heart of hearts, I have friends who are genuinely my friends who are Latinos. I don't have any friends who are illegal immigrants. I don't really know how to connect or where you meet them at or any of that kind of stuff. I've never had that opportunity. You know, I'm sure if I worked with an illegal immigrant or lived near an illegal immigrant, or maybe I am friends with an illegal immigrant and I didn't know they were illegal immigrant. If that makes sense. Like, comment, share, and please subscribe. And we'll see you on the next Black Power.